RBC is made up of 100 mid-cap companies who certainly commercial air service is far more important than private, although both are important. And commercial air service to all of us is the lifeblood of our businesses, and it's certainly the lifeblood of the community in general. It's hard to imagine a region, a metropolitan area city who is truly competitive, especially when it comes to attracting and retaining businesses, attracting and retaining conventions, and really having a lot of the activity that you want in a metropolitan area without an extremely competitive and first-class airport and lots of aviation options.
The mission of the Spirit of St. Louis Airport is to provide efficient, dependable, safe, attractive, first-class facility for our users and tenants. We strive to maintain our role as a major air transportation system for the St. Louis region. We also want to be a responsible and respectful neighbor to the surrounding community. We consider ourselves the business center of the Midwest. We have 2 parallel runways. We can serve aircraft MD-80 to 737 size. We have 4 fixed base operators and numerous private terminals. We are home to 6 space charter aircraft companies and service charter companies from all around the world. We also service for light cargo. We also have a 24-hour customs and serve international flights almost on a daily basis. In and around the airport, there are 3,000 people currently employed. The annual economic impact from a study provided through MoDOT with a consulting agency is nearly $400 million annually. Another service that Spirit of St. Louis Airport provides the business community is direct access to any point in the world. We have charter flights it can take. We also have had corporate shuttles. Corporations have used the airport if they had a number of scientists or business personnel that need to go to one place on a daily basis.
St. Louis Downtown Airport is the front door for business aviation for the St. Louis region. We're the airport that people fly to when they come to do business at St. Louis. We have 3 runways, instrument landing system. We're open and operating 24 hours a day. We have 2 full-service fixed base operators. We have about 140,000 takeoffs and landings each year. Almost all of the patients and organs for transplant come into our airport in the morning. We have all of the region's traffic and news helicopters based there, as well as police and other special force type aviation. The airport and all of its businesses together employ approximately 1,900 people. Our estimated economic impact is approximately $300 million.
I think if we look at the overall mission of Lambert, it's obviously to provide air transportation to our region, and our region encompasses about 2.8 million people. So it's really 2 states, the Illinois and the Missouri side, and a fairly large radius of people. So the mission is to provide the best air service that we can. In addition to that, we also try and provide cargo service. So that's another component that we have today as well. We have 4 runways. We have 85 gates, and only 47 are in use today. We have 14 airlines today. That'll soon be 13 as a result of the integration with AirTran and Southwest, now almost 1. We have about 4 scheduled cargo operators today. If you take all of the vendors at the airport, the airlines, all of the food and retail concessions, it's about 2,000 people at the airport. In addition to obviously air service, we also have cargo service. We own and operate 6 of the parking garages and lots, so that's a huge service that we provide. We have retail and food concessions that we have with the public. Those are in partnerships with our various vendors that we have there.
When we look at domestic passenger service, I think there's 3 or 4 issues that everybody talks about. The first is how many direct non-stop markets do you truly serve? People want to go and certainly travel commercially, but they prefer not to have to go through 2 or 3 stops to get there. So how many direct markets is a very, very critical opportunity. The other is the airport experience. When you get there, how does it touch you? How does it impact you? What kind of impression does it leave for the city? So that experience is certainly a big, big part of the overall experience in general and the competitiveness of our airport. And third is what kind of jets do people fly out of here? Although regional jets certainly serve its purpose, most people would tell you that they prefer to fly on a bigger jet, and we've got to make sure that we've got a competitive approach to being able to attract and convince the airlines to take more risks to not only serve more markets but to serve them with larger aircraft. And then finally, we want to be in a position to really widen our net in the area. We serve this market, but there are all kinds of smaller markets within driving distance that we want to convince those passengers and those potential customers to use Lambert and to use the aviation options we have in this market. The wider the net, the more people we can bring, the more passenger throughput, the easier it is to be able to convince the airlines to take more risk and to provide more markets.
We have an incentive package in St. Louis that says if you're a new airline into the market, or if you're an existing airline and you put a new domestic or international market, we will waive the landing fees for a commitment of 2 years. So if you commit to 2 years of a new air service, then we'll waive those landing fees for 18 months. There's a lot of airports looking at doing similar type things, trying to get carriers to understand we're a viable airport, we need your business, we want your business, so come and prove your model here that it'll work, and in the interim, we'll give you the help and support you need to get up and running.
The climate today, we're served by more airlines than we've ever been served. The days of the large hub are gone. So taking smaller pieces of the pie will enable us to attract more destinations. And maybe an airline comes in and only has 1 or 2 destinations, but that gets us places we need to go.
We realize the value of making sure that the impressions both inside and outside the terminal are good. You know, whether that's the taxi cab that they take from downtown to where they walk in through, the exterior of the building, to are there flowers blooming, to, just a multitude of things. So we're trying to take a very, very minute look at every piece of the airport and say, how could we turn this into a better impression?
Our primary runway is 7,000 feet. It was 100 feet wide. We're currently widening it to 150 feet wide and strengthening it to support 200,000-pound aircraft.
You can go out and tout all the positive things about the lack of congestion. Fuel burn's a huge issue today with the airlines, and we don't have 25-minute taxi waits. We don't have 30-minute holds in the air while you're burning fuel. So all of those things are added values that you can go out and market and sell to the airport.
We have to have a consolidated message, and that requires support from the business community, hard work from the airport staff, and then working with the airlines.
We did get out there 3 or 4 years ago with a model that says you have to go out and start to sell your airport. You have to look at alternatives. Today, we see many of the airports, the Columbus, the Clevelands, the Cincinnatis of the world, even the Memphis in terms of its passenger traffic, that are now looking at many of the things that we're doing because they're facing the same challenge.
An initiative is good for business. It's good for business aviation and the airports.
We have to target airlines first and target routes and look at, are those routes going to be profitable for the airlines? A shotgun approach, going to every airline the way we did, or frills or cost savings, only going to work on a temporary basis.
We work very closely with a lot of the companies today that have searched out for relocation firms. And we are on the map in terms of a place where companies want to relocate to, and basically search firms are coming to St. Louis. So we're a partner in that, showing that what service we do offer, but also that we have opportunity for tremendous air growth out of St. Louis here.
We're doing a lot of things right. We just need to continue to focus on business and focus on our airports.
A big piece of our success will be on helping the community to understand that it's a partnership between us and them, in that if we're able to get the service, it's only going to be sustained if people fly it. So it may be breaking some of those long-time allegiances that people have had and saying, if you want the nonstop service, which is critical, I think, from what I've heard, to the business community, then you're going to have to be flexible on flying different carriers to get that.
What we need to do is to make sure that we can band together, provide as much help, support, and resources as possible so that we can make it happen. Not only a plan, but to execute that plan so that Lambert and aviation in general is a huge competitive advantage when we go out and market St. Louis.